Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Valorant Quick Tips, everyone's favourite fast-paced guide series. Today we're going to be listening in on everything there is to know about sound cues, so let's get going. I want to start by saying that you should never underestimate just how important sound is in a competitive game like Valorant. In a 5v5 defusal scenario, information on where the enemy team is and what they're doing is supremely useful, and a huge part of building up a mental picture of what's happening in a round is the audio cues you hear. We're going to go through all the sound cues in the game, and more importantly, how you can use them to your advantage. You've probably noticed by now that pretty much everything you do in Valorant makes some sort of noise, but what you might not appreciate is that the opposing team can hear you a lot of the time as well. In fact, it's a pretty safe bet that if you hear your agent or your teammates making noise, any nearby enemies will hear the exact same thing, revealing your position and potentially losing you the round. This includes gunfire, footsteps, reloads, teleporters, ropes, picking up orbs, planting or defusing the spike, and using abilities. Let's start with gunfire. Firing a weapon can be heard anywhere on the map, although just like in real life, it'll be quieter if you're further away. You'd think that suppressed weapons like the Ghost or Phantom would be quieter, but you'd be wrong. From my testing, suppressors don't seem to make any difference at all to the volume of your shots. Next, your footsteps. When running normally, you'll stomp around making an absolute racket, but enemies will only be able to hear your footsteps within a certain radius of your location. You can see this displayed on your minimap when you're stepping, so be sure to take this into account. As I've already mentioned, knowing your opponent's location is so crucial in this game, so you should generally shift walk most of the time unless you're going for a fast play with your team. It's also worth mentioning here that footsteps make different noises depending on the surface, which can be incredibly helpful when you're trying to work out where your opponent is headed. As for reloads, these can be heard within the exact same radius as your steps. The teleporters on bind can be heard anywhere on the map and make two different noises. When a person teleports, it sounds like this, and when a weapon or ability is thrown into the teleport, it sounds like this. It is very important you can distinguish between these two sounds, because I see a lot of people try to fake out the noise by throwing their pistol into the teleport, so don't get caught out. The ropes on the map split are much quieter by comparison, but can still be heard from the same distance away as footsteps. And you should know it's possible to climb a rope without making any noise by holding shift as you grab and ascend. Now we come to some of the more interesting sound cues that you can use to bait enemies into revealing their position or peeking into you so you can kill them. First, orbs. Given their strategic locations in commonly contested areas, picking up orbs is often a risky business, but if you trigger the sound cue and then quickly pull out your weapon, you're quite likely to catch an enemy pushing you for what they assume will be a free kill. It's a similar story with the spike. Planting and defusing both produce their own unique sound cues, so faking either of these in a clutch scenario to force your opponent into a mistake is a great tactic. This is especially useful when defusing, as you'll often have no idea where the remaining attackers are hiding. Quickly tapping the bomb can bring them out into the open, but you should know that this is a very well-known strategy, and if they call your bluff, you might just be out of options. Besides, everyone knows that real pros don't fake. Using your abilities can also be heard by opponents depending on how loud the ability is and how far away they are, except that is for ultimates. The voice line and sound effect when you activate your ult can be heard by everyone everywhere on the map, which is good to know because you might not surprise people as much as you were expecting. It also means you should keep an ear out for enemy ultimates, especially the dreaded I still can't believe that's in the game. Finally, there are two actions that make noise for you but can't be heard by enemies, which are switching weapons and pinging locations. And for all the CS players out there, remember that scoping does not make noise in Valorant, so there's no need to walk around the entire map with your zoomy boy glued to your eye. And that's about it for today. Everything to make you a bona fide Valorant audiophile. I hope you found the video helpful, and if you did, check out my other Valorant guides on the channel. If you have any suggestions or questions, then let me know in the comments down below, and if you're new here, then hit that subscribe button and ding the bell for notifications. I also stream on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so come and say hi over there too. Thanks very much for watching, folks, and I'll see you on the next one.